Hi, I'm Matt Fettig. When you list your home for sale with us, you'll need to sign 3 different documents. I'd like to take just a moment to introduce those documents to you now. The first document is the consumer notice. I kind of consider the consumer notice to be similar to the HIPAA notice that you sign at your doctor's office. It's basically a disclosure form. It helps to inform you whose interests a real estate agent represents during a transaction. For example, we have seller agency, buyer agency, dual agency, designated agency, and even transactional agents. At the end of the day, most of the time you'll be working with a seller agent, a buyer's agent, or a designated agent. In this form, you're just going to take a few moments to review it and make sure that you understand all the different types of form of agency available. When you sign your listing contract, you'll note that we will be representing you as a seller's agent. If you have any questions about the consumer notice, please make sure you ask your team member. The second document that you'll need to review and sign is the listing contract. This is the document that most people think about when they get ready to sell their home. This contract is our obligation to work for you and your commitment to work with us. And we put all the details down in one place, such as information about all the sellers. Please understand that everyone who is on the deed must sign the listing contract. You'll also find all of the information about our brokerage. Your property information will be clearly displayed, such as your home address, municipality, and tax parcel ID. The start date of the listing contract and the end date of the listing contract are all included on page 1. As you move through the contract, you'll see some other important information, such as the agreed upon commission and how we split that up with the buyer's agent. There's also some information about personal property that you may wish to include or exclude in the sale of your home. Now, we'd like you to think about that when we list your home. However, understand that at the time we negotiate an offer on your home, you'll still have an opportunity to change those items if you so choose. Lastly, there's some important language in the listing contract about obligations on your behalf, such as your agreement to comply with the Federal Fair Housing Act. That's where we agree to show your home to all qualified buyers and that we agree that we will not discriminate against anybody. There's also some information in the listing contract about your obligation to disclose things such as lead-based paint and your commitment to fully and accurately filling out the seller's property disclosure. More about that in just a few moments. So that's kind of sums up what's in the listing contract. However, if you have any questions, please make sure you ask a team member. We want to make sure all of your questions are answered before you sign the listing contract. And now onto the third document, which is more like your homework. It's the seller's property disclosure. In Pennsylvania, we have the seller's property disclosure law, which requires all homeowners to share with prospective buyers any information about the maintenance of your home and any known material defects. Now, this form can feel a little bit long and overwhelming. I don't want that to scare you off. See, we want you to know that it is important for you to disclose all of the maintenance items that have come up over the years. Certainly not routine maintenance items such as fixing a loose door or replacing a light. But this is your place in time to tell a prospective buyer, hey look, we had this leak in the roof. We had this plumbing issue in the past. Full disclosure is extremely important. We've learned that over the years that if there's going to be litigation in real estate after the sale, it generally comes back to the seller's failure to disclose and give the buyers an opportunity to investigate and inspect areas of possible concern. So our rule of thumb is this: when in doubt, disclose. That'll help protect you now and in the future. Take some time to do this document. We're not going to sit and rush you through it, but we will need it back before your home goes on the market. All buyers are allowed to and required to have reviewed the seller's property disclosure prior to making an offer. And lastly, while not part of the listing contract itself, we will ask you to sign an estimate of closing costs. What we're going to do is give you a standard list of the closing costs associated with the sale of your home. Some of these costs are going to include your real estate commissions, transfer tax, prorated property taxes, any certificates or closing costs required to get you to the closing table. We're going to take your initial list price and subtract these items out so that you will have an idea about what your net proceeds will be when you make the sale on your home. We will ask you to sign to acknowledge that we've disclosed things to you as an estimate, and it'll be for your files and records for future reference.